Welcome to part 2. This will focus on developing your digital skills and the support available to startups. I've interviewed and focused on women who run their own businesses or women who want to look at ways in which they can start to enhance their digital skills. There is a huge gap between those who work within most industries and the tech sector, and I wanted to provide answers and solutions and support to those who wanted to know where and how they could grow their business but also enhance their skills. 1 in every 4 jobs in STEM are held by women. 41% of Harvard computer graduates are female. 55% of social media users are female. What support is available for startups?
There are 2 organisations you go to. British Library do courses as well. Websites, apps, that kind of thing. And also there's a great newsletter called Own It. That talks a little bit more about intellectual property, but they do have courses on there about websites, apps, etc. So you can look at that, and that you can look at home.
You don't actually have to do everything yourself. You know, yes, there are 168 hours in the week, but you need to rest as well. And if you work, you've got family to look after, and you're trying to, formulate this business, and you're learning how to bookkeep, how to web develop, how to market, at some point you need to get somebody else or some other people to help you. You can outsource. I think when we start new businesses, we're a bit cautious about the spend, but it doesn't have to cost hundreds and thousands, it really doesn't. So there are 2 websites that I wanted to share. One is called peopleperhour.com. I love that site, but basically you can put your request on there, an hourly or a gig, whatever it's called. I think it's more hourlies these days, but you have in mind how much you are prepared to pay, and people will pitch their skills, experience to you, and then you decide if you want to go ahead, who you want to go ahead with. If it doesn't work, there are contingencies in place so that you don't lose pocket, you don't lose out. Another one is called Fiverr.com. It's say it's a US-based one, but it's $5. So if you really wanted to get your website up and ready, so you'd find a hosting company, you'd sort all of that out, and then you'd go on Fiverr.com, pay $5. The last time I did it, that's like £3.17. I think that's accessible to everyone, hopefully, even on the tightest budget. And they will set up WordPress for you. Look at the ratings of people before you give them, your hosting details, etc.
Support available. There's lots of support available, especially here in London. Even nationwide. I know that there's the startup loans that's been run by the government.
We are a co-working space and a community for startups, anyone who's in business, freelancers. Anyone who's not part of a big organisation but maybe is working at home at the moment, or is exploring a different kind of path, a different kind of professional future for themselves. So I just checked the statistics. We have more women than men here, 61%. So we do have quite a few women here, and actually, interestingly enough, we have quite a few women in technology here as well. We have more women who do technology-related stuff work than men.
Developing your digital skills.
At Channel 4, we run a scheme called the Production Training Scheme, where you get paid to work at an independent production company, then come to Channel 4 for 2 days a month for some training. So I'd look at paid hands-on schemes, but work experience. I meet so many young people that say to me, I'm trying to break into the industry, but I don't have work experience. You don't need the likes of Channel 4, BBC, ITV to give you work experience before you start getting it. You can start doing it now. There's so much more here now that, in terms of equipment, that wasn't wasn't there when I was starting out. And if you do go to university, don't think I've gone to university, I've got a degree, so that means I've got the job. Like, having a degree is just not enough anymore to cut it in this industry. So if you do go to university, make good use of it. But what helped me at uni was the extra stuff that I did. So getting together with my peers, going out there, filming, networking, doing work experience, internships in the holidays, that's the stuff that counts.
Thing at the moment is to work on those digital skills and really get them up to scratch, but not just the digital skills, actually some quite basic computer skills. I'm surprised how many people don't have a good grasp of things like Excel. If you're going to run a business, you need to understand how to use Excel, because you're going to do accounting, you're going to do your finances, you need to use those. But then at the same time, you know, online, it's good to understand what the different platforms are, the different tools available, depending on which sector you're in, which area you're in. Maybe you want to know about blogging platforms, or maybe accounting platforms actually that are online, or platforms that can train you on how to build a business, ways to employ staff, methods of managing staff, you know, ways to build and manage databases and lists and speak to your audiences. There's so much going on. I think that the best thing for anyone to do is actually just really understand what they are anyway, regardless of whether or not they plan to use them themselves.
I would say know which platform works for you, because for me, I don't use a lot of technology in the bigger scale of things like science and stuff like that, but I use a lot of social media, and it's taken me a while to know what works best. So my website is a communications tool, so I have to work out, I've got a Twitter page, I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page. I find Instagram harder to use because I think Instagram's more personal, and I think if you're selling yourself, or if it's food, something, I don't know, a product that people can kind of hold and touch, it's a bit easier to use Instagram, in my opinion. Someone else might make it work in a different way. But for me, I find Facebook and Twitter an easier tool to get my message out there. So it's about knowing which social media platform works for your business.
I speak to a lot of people, and they talk a lot about the hope of using technology, and they never get around to it because it's just talk. You know, it's not scary. You're just dealing with people, so just go for it. That's the first thing that I would say. And like you were saying, you know, start small. So if you want to start using social media, start with maybe Facebook, one that you know, and really get to understand how it works. And, you know, look for people that you know and ask them to spread the word. Every time they like, share or comment about something that your business has put out there, it makes it accessible to their friends. They can see, you know, their timeline and everything they've done. Somebody else will then like, share, you know how everything goes viral. And then once you've mastered one, you can maybe add another one.
I use LinkedIn a lot, and the reason I use that is to network and to maintain my network. And it's a great tool because networking is a great skill to learn, and I think especially women and my colleagues, my female colleagues, they shy away from networking to some extent because there's negative connotations with it. But networking, once you approach it in the right way and you connect in the right way, it will really open up doors for you. And you know, once you understand how it can, you know, do that for you, then things like LinkedIn are perfect for maintaining and keeping in contact with that vast network.
I've worked with a lot of women who, sorry, I keep saying women, I'm not partial, it's just, you know, my audience primarily is women. But basically, many of them, their web developers convince them to host their websites on the web developer site. If you're speaking to anyone who's recommending that, please don't do it, because then you're tied in, and if you have a fallout, a disagreement with that web developer, you're stuck. You need to get hosting from independently. It's one thing giving them access details so that they can build the website for you, but do not host it with them. Use a trusted hosting provider. You can Google, you know, like the top 10 UK host providers or something, or ask people, friends and family who you know have established a website. You know, don't get caught with that one, because it happens quite a lot even today.
Women Who Inspire is a celebration of real women who use technology and demonstrate outstanding female leadership. 80% of women accounted for the new self-employed between 2008 and 2011. 1.5 million self-employed women. 17% of women are business owners, managers or employers. Women's businesses have a higher churn rate. Women are now twice as likely to be entrepreneurially active. There were 16 million active small businesses on Facebook in 2013. There is 18 billion available for small businesses to develop their digital skills. Virgin Media have launched a big digital skills hub.
If you're thinking about starting your own business, just do it. This is your best friend. Apps, social media, your business, your office is right here.